Services. So, Joe, do you want to talk about those?
Sure. We at the point of the freeze, we had 6 front office staff employed. After the freeze hit, we actually lost 2, an intake clerk and a clerk type. And we asked about it at the beginning. We're told to hold off, and then apparently we got some permission to go ahead and proceed. So one is for an intake clerk and one is for a clerk typist. Both are budgeted. Both were employed people at the time of the freeze, so it's kind of after the freeze, you know what I mean? And so we're here to present, just try to get these 2 through for tomorrow.
Okay, as it was presented to myself and Rob Lagonia, the chair of the committee, these 2 people were integral to your intake process? Yes, the intake clerk is the lead person in that role and does the quite a bit of the kind of the lead person there. Typist is more of a support function, but they're both integral. As we start seeing clients again, they're going to be with the needed staff. So the feeling was they would not be able to operate efficiently, if at all, with positions. So we did a 30-day yes. consultation with the chair of the committee, and with the idea we were going to bring it to this committee. That's correct.
So currently, this has been filled for what, a 30-day, Matt? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not a 30-day anymore, but it's filled until it becomes, we vote on it.
But everything closed up, though. Is it we still needed?
Yes. We actually started. We've had some clients come through now, and we've actually have the staff coming back 1 day a week, beginning this week, in fact. So we do anticipate some clients, more clients, and these 2 positions. With the intake clerk is the person that leads our open access, clients that might walk in at any given point in time in a crisis situation. So it's a very important slot to fill.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Okay, any other questions? So we have the next resolution. Do you want to vote on those together? Or?
Yeah. All right, hold on.
The second one is authorization of the Human Services to fill a vacant clerk typist. Again, it's to work at the intake office. Just so you know, one person left, I believe, Joe, and the other person was
kind of asked to leave, resigned technically, but something had come up, and the other person did leave for a different position somewhere else. Okay, if we could, we can do a motion on both of those resolutions.
Okay.
We need a committee person to make a motion. Either Jim, Rick, somebody.
I'll make a motion for both of those positions.
I'll second it.
Okay. Rick Sclair was first. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The next is Office for the Aging requesting permission to hire a seasonal part-time temporary bookkeeper to perform heap processing for a 3-month period commencing August 1st. Kevin, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, every year we had been hiring, actually up until last year, we've been hiring 2 part-time to come in and process all the HEAP applications for the seniors. Last year, one of them chose not to return, and duties were delegated to another position in our office. They worked out a title for a while just to keep up with the applications. And that's what we're planning on doing again this year if we get permission to fill this position. The reason it really doesn't begin August 1st. In August, they have to go away for a while, or at least I shouldn't say go away. They'll have a virtual training day for 1 day, and we need to get them on the books so they can get paid for that 1 day. But they actually don't come until usually mid-September, processing the applications.
Are they paid hourly?
Pardon me?
And there's no benefits with that or nothing, right?
No, nope.
Yeah, I couldn't see that.
Who benefits from this program?
Seniors.
Seniors, well, I know it's senior.
Well, and the money comes,
It's Kevin? This is not just the seniors, is it?
No.
Is anyone speaking or is it just my system down?
Yeah, I thought I lost everybody for a minute too, but I'm hearing you now.
Can hear you.
Okay.
I hear you, Jimmy.
Okay. I know, I'm just wondering, I just wanted to make sure this was just for, this wasn't just for the office, for the elders, this was for seniors, this was for everybody, am I correct stating that or not? That's what I was.
I believe it's anybody that's qualified for HEAP.
That's what I thought, yeah. I didn't know if it was segregated between Office of the Aging did one thing or whatever.
No, we hire these individuals each year on an hourly rate, and when HEAP is over, then the position's over.
Okay.
Did Kevin hang up?
Sorry, we're here at the Board of Supervisors Chambers. We're having an audio difficulty it.
Okay.
But we are hearing you.
Okay.
And Kevin just commented that DSS handles the non-senior HEAP program.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, Rob. Thank you.
Yep. But Kelly's looking for a motion if someone wants to make it. Motion by Guzzi. Second by Scalera.
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Wrong one.
We're back on.
All right. Okay. Solid Waste is requesting authorization to fill one part-time labor position in the solid waste department. Prior to COVID, we had 2 of our part-time laborers transferred to the facilities department. We were already down 2, so that's a total of 4. During COVID, we extended hours at our stations and worked many of the employees over 1,000 hours. And it capped based on different requirements of their retirement, Social Security, et cetera. We at least need to fill one position just to have overlap on Saturdays for fill-in during the week for, just our needs of the department. So our request is just to fill one position at this time.
Jolene, what does this part-time laborer do, or is it just all over the place?
All over the place. We could utilize them at any of the 8 stations that we have. Multitasking. If they have a CDL, they would have the capability of driving. So it'd be a multifunctional position, but primarily what we need it for is, the Saturday overflow, because now people are starting to take the weekends off, trying to get a break during the week, doctor's appointments, et cetera, as things are opening. And, otherwise we have to use our full-time laborers on the weekend. And, that's hard to come by now after working straight through. So, we've always had a surplus of employees that we could utilize, but we're down 4 currently, so that's a lot when you have 8 stations to run.
Jolene, does this save on overtime?
Yes, it does. Yes, because we've been using our overtime, full timers over the weekend. Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Is that Rick?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next is Public Defender. Shane?
Yep. So we're having one of our, a part-time assistant public defender who's a family court attorney. She's going to be retiring at the end of August, and I need to get another family court attorney in. But I think at a February Public Safety Committee meeting, there wasn't a formal resolution. I had brought up the discussion of if we could create a position fully funded by an ILS grant for a full-time assistant public defender. And as it's in the resolution on the screen here, it would be fully paid and funded for 3 years. I think we submitted a resolution in March, but it was right just as the COVID was breaking. I don't think it ever actually made it to any committee for review. So essentially, I'm asking to abolish the part-time position that's person's retiring from, create a full-time position for a family court. It's $5,000 less. The part-time position actually with just looking here, pay parity grant from the state bumped it up from 55 to 75. The full-time position would be 70,000. Would be that along which would be fully reimbursed for 3 years. So that would actually save the county $55,000 in salary, and basically the state would be paying for that. And it's an urgent need because at this point, once she's gone, I have one family court attorney, and family court is particularly busy now. The way the court structure it's structured itself as far as closing and what cases get heard now, it's much more leaning towards the family court side. The criminal is much more slower coming back.
So when this grant goes in, when do we get paid? Like, how long does that take? And we pay
My
in one-
understanding, what's that? We submit reimbursement vouchers quarterly, and to my knowledge, Barb Drabick in my office handles a lot of the hands-on stuff with that, but to my knowledge, we've had absolutely no problem with reimbursement.
Okay. Doesn't go on for 6 months.
Before we can. I didn't. You cut out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of echo. Like,
That's okay.
I think it's Shane's computer, actually.
Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear the last thing you said, Supervisor.
All right, I got it. I was just concerned that we were being paid on time and it wasn't pushed out for a long time, that we had to wait for cash flow issues. That's why I asked.
I think does the claiming, PJ?
Let me ask the question, is the county obligated to keep this position after this grant runs out?
Good question.
What we've said in the past is no, that if the money runs out, we can look at doing away with the position. We're going to have to evaluate that on a case-by-case basis in terms of what our needs are, but we do have the ability to not renew the position.
Okay, I just wanted to know if it was a condition of getting the grant, keeping the position, and then funding it as the county afterwards. And you just told me it isn't, so that's good enough for me.
And Matt, to answer your question, yes, we, John out Barb quarterly, and those funds are processed for reimbursement right away.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, PJ.
Thank you, PJ.
Need a motion?
I'll make,
Is that Rick Scalera made the motion? Second?
one of my 6 echoes here, so one of them made the motion.
Yeah, I got the same thing, Rick.
So do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Last one.
Okay, this is authorization for the sheriff's office. Budgeted position of corporal correction officer. I believe in this case, it was similar to the lieutenant in the sheriff's department where he promoted a sergeant to lieutenant and then abolished the sergeant's position. In this case, they're promoting someone into the corporal's position and abolishing a correctional officer's
Sheriff
position.
Sergeant.
Yeah, I'm on, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sheriff.
Now you said it all. It was very eloquent. If we do not fill this corporal's position with moving up a CO, it's $2,500. Right now, I have an individual out on injury. So if we don't fill it, it's going to cost us $10,080 in overtime alone. With filling it, Brenda Carl retired, and bringing in a new person right away, it's a $7,000 savings just because of their longevity. And also on the backside, with not filling the corrections officer position, that's the reason. So rounding it all off, it's about $43,000 savings by filling it.
Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff. Is there a motion?
Hey, this is Michael Schmidt. I was wondering if before the full board, it's just that extra information to be added to the resolution. I think that would help explain.
He wants the information added to the resolution before the full board.
Yeah, Sheriff, can we add that to the resolution, the information you gave?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No problem, Supervisor. So again, entertain a motion.
Rick Scalera, I'll make the motion.
Second,
Jim Guzzi, second.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, everyone.
That's it.
That's it. Any other business?
Geez, Matt,
Yes,
there's a lot of, you can't hear very well the way you guys are set up.
I'm sorry, but I figured I'd try sitting down here. Maybe I'd be better off doing it virtually.
This is a trial, basically, because we need to make sure it works.
There's
We
a lot
have-
of echo.
Well, unfortunately, people don't listen when you say to mute your phones and your devices, because that's where the echoes come in. If everyone mutes and then they just talk when they need to talk, it works out perfectly. But it is a trial and error. The speakers that we have 2 of them in the room currently. It's a big room. So your feedback is good. We may need to put in 4, but we'll have to research that end of it.
Okay,
Yeah, now everybody's muted. Now they all fall in.
all right. So somebody's got to unmute so I can get a motion to adjourn.
Well, Chairman, before you do that, this is Bob Gibson over at DSS. I had something as well. I don't know if I may not.
Okay, go ahead. Why don't you bring it up? I mean, we don't have it, do we, Kelly, yet?
Not that I'm aware of. What was it, Bob?
It was, Matt, you and I had talked about the senior account clerk, which was in SCU and had been vacant even before COVID. And essentially I left it there, even though it was a major sort of problem for the unit because they don't have the cross-checking that's required by the state. It was just, I was in a tough spot and I couldn't get to it. As it turns out now, I do have an individual in an account clerk position who's on top of the list. And so if I'm able to hire a senior account clerk right off the top of the list, it would turn out I could do both the duties that clerk is handling now, and in addition, handle the SCU. So I'd actually be getting it done with somebody who's already in the building and not have to hire anybody from outside.
Would that be a salary increase, Bob?
Yeah, it's about $2,000 or $3,000, but the savings is the entire salary of the senior account clerk, and/or if you'd rather, the savings is the entire salary of the account clerk.
How would that net out, Bob? I mean, we're probably talking about a $35,000 savings.
Oh, I would say at the least, yeah, not to mention the fact that 50% more than that because of fringe.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? So Bob,
Is there a problem doing something like that?
The original.
No.
Bob, would there be a problem?
Be a problem as far as what?
A union or anything like that? Would there any be any issue?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, it's a union member.
Okay.
Michael, could you weigh in?
This is the first I'm hearing of a position.
No, I just simply wouldn't backfill the account clerk position.
What is the account clerk position currently in SCU?
It is not.
So how can you have a person outside of you doing SCU work when SCU people have to be fingerprinted?
I'm told by both my deputy and the director there that can get done.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's going to pass with the IRS, I certainly having a problem as long as, they're doing the traditional work of that title.
Correct. Yeah. That's sort of why I looked at it that way, because the individual that I have in mind is actually number one on the list for senior. And talking to the director and the deputy, they're very confident he can fill both roles.
Oh, good. That's great.
So the account clerk would go on the long list of unfilled items, right, that we're planning on not filling?
For a while, exactly. I'm not abolishing that. It's just I wouldn't fill it.
And you'd have to come back to us to fill it anyways.
I would, yeah. I would. I'm not putting in my request a backfill.
I get it.
Okay. Okay.
So since we haven't gotten the resolution, Bob, when you do send it, can you send it with that information that we're not abolishing, but not filling or not backfilling, and that there'd be a net savings of so many, $1,000?
That'll be down there this afternoon.
Okay. So we need a motion.
Jim? Rick? I'll make it.
Rick Scalera, second.
I'll second it. Jim Guzzi.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So, I mean, what should be noted too is that some of these positions we passed today, where we're not backfilling, we are saving on fringes as well, which doesn't show up in the, in the salary line. So it's more than just the salary we're saving, so.
Yeah, that needs to be, we need to make sure we let everybody understand that too.
What position are we not backfilling?
Account clerk.
Account clerk.
Clerk typist?
It's going from an account clerk to a senior account.
No, he said account clerk.
Correct. So the number one person on the list, on the senior list, is presently an account clerk.
What position are we not backfilling? Senior account clerk?
Account clerk. And I do have,
The senior account clerk was on our list back in March or April, where we're looking at the vacant positions of the freeze.
right, correct.
All right.
Okay, any other questions?
Before we finish up, I am holding the resolution in my hand. I see that both Michael and Becky had signed off on it. And it indicates to me that it got down to 401, but that never made it down?
Kelly?
I can't look. My computers are both locked up with.
Okay, she can't look
So
right now.
I can't tell.
Okay, well, I'll resend it. That's not a problem at all. And I'm going to resend it. I'll add a little bit more in the column that allows for explanation.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ron, what do you think? I know I can see some smoke coming out of your ears there. Ron? Well, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how can they elevate somebody up to a senior account clerk and leave the account clerk vacant and have a cost savings? No?
Yeah, senior is worth more.
But you eliminate the position though, right?
I have not eliminated it, but by
We're not
chance,
filling it right now.
correct.
So when the time comes to fill it, then we need to make that decision if we're going to fill it or not.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect me to come forward with that for a few years.
Right.
No, but Jim, what Ron was saying, the senior account clerk is already on the list that we compiled,
Correct.
right?
I understand. I do understand that. That's why I called the chairman to talk about this particular plan.
Okay. I'm good with it. I understand what the need is.
It seems like it should work. I mean, it is a cost savings.
As long as you don't backfill.
That's
Well, I've already said I'm not going to backfill, and the only reason it made the list is because at that point I hadn't gone to hire there. So it was clearly one of the positions that I had open. It wasn't because I didn't have a need.
Okay.
well,
Okay, can you hear me?
All right. Okay.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jim Buzzy, second. Rick Sclera. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.